Before I begin today's story, a story of betrayal, hunger, and the moment I finally chose myself, I ask for one small kindness. Please support this channel by subscribing and pressing the like button. It helps stories like mine be heard. And tell me in the comments where you're listening from. It always warms my spirit to know how far our voices travel. Now, let me tell you what happened. The front door slammed shut 3 hours ago, but the heavy sugary scent of Quintessa's perfume still clung to the hallway. That smell always felt wrong in our old brownstone, too loud, too young, too careless for walls that had absorbed decades of quiet sacrifice, dried lavender, and the dust of time. I stood in the kitchen, staring at the pantry door. The silence in the house was absolute. Once I loved this silence. It meant rest after long days bent over my sewing machine, my fingers aching from tiny stitches, my back screaming from years of stooping. Silence meant peace. But today, silence felt hungry, predatory, and I was ashamed to admit it, but I was hungry too. Not a dramatic hunger. Just the ordinary human kind that grows sharper by evening. The kind you expect to soothe with dinner. I opened the cabinet. Empty. Not just empty, clean. Terrifyingly clean. Quintessa had packed in a rush. She flitted through the apartment like a tropical bird trapped too long in a cage, throwing bikinis, sundresses, and tanning lotions into her suitcase. Miami sun. Cocktails with umbrellas. I remembered how she stopped at the door, shoes already on, hand outstretched. Mama, give me your card, just in case the ATM doesn't work. I'd felt a chill then. That's my whole social security check, I whispered. What am I supposed to live on for 2 weeks? Oh, don't start. She rolled her eyes, snatching the card. You've got grits. Boil them, add butter. It's detox. Doctors recommend it at your age. I deserved this vacation. And she was gone. I reached for the old glass jar labeled grits. My handwriting from 20 years ago. It was almost weightless. At the bottom lay a few sad grains. Not enough to feed a sparrow. She hadn't checked. She hadn't cared. That realization was colder than hunger. Truth in humorous desperation drove me into her room. Clothes everywhere. Lipsticks uncapped. Receipts crushed under glossy magazines. And then I found it. Her flight itinerary. Hotel reservations. The total cost. 3 months of my benefits. I stood there shaking, thinking of every coat I'd turned inside out to remake. Every peach I didn't buy. Every sacrifice. I walked back into the living room and saw it clearly. My home wasn't a home. It was a museum, and I was starving inside. The call that changed everything. That night, hunger sharpened into clarity. I remembered the ad I circled weeks ago. Alistair Sterling, antique spot. Honest appraisal. House calls. My fingers trembled as I dialed. Hello? Yes, I said. I want to sell silver. Selling the PST the next morning. Mr. Sterling arrived punctual, observant. Calm. He examined the silver spoons. Antique, rare, valuable. He named a price. I said no. And for the first time in years, I negotiated. When he left with the spoons and I held that stack of cash, I didn't feel guilt. I felt alive. The first taste of freedom. Walked past the discount store. Straight into the gourmet market. Prosciutto, cheese with truffles, warm baguette. 2 perfect peaches. At home, I laid out the best china. I am the guest today, I said aloud. And when I bit into that peach, juice running down my chin, I tasted something sweeter than fruit. I tasted dignity. But hunger was only the beginning. What my daughter planned next would force me to choose between disappearing quietly or burning the museum down.